MTV, welcome to my crib. What is going on, guys? Noah Brewer here, and today I'm going to be walking you through how I get paid to live in my house. Now, this is a bit of a different video, and I'm okay with that, and I want to break you down through all of the financials, which I have them written down right in front of me. But first, let me give you a little bit of a tour. Alright, so this is the office. I got my friend Nick here. He's just hanging out for a bit. You can see up there I got the 20 because it was my birthday yesterday. But this is kind of like the office. Eventually, I'm going to put a wall right here. So this is going to be kind of like a separate bedroom, I guess you could say, but we're going to make it a separate office. So coming down the hallway, nothing special, just a laundry room. This is a bedroom, one of the ones that I'm renting out. This is their bathroom, pretty nice, has a little shower in there. Nothing special though, it's just a normal bathroom. This is a bedroom right here, closet, another bedroom. This is actually a Jack and Jill. That's where the other roommate is staying. And we come over here and we have another big opening, which this is kind of a loft, which you can see we have like a little gym set up, and that's my treadmill over there, which I've been running a mile every single day. And today I actually broke another record for the how fast I run a mile. So this one thing I loved about this house is we got that big office area down there, and then we have another big loft here. So plenty of space. So coming downstairs, we have the kitchen here, which is pretty nice. Nothing too special, nothing too crazy. We have a little dining room over here, snacks, smaller living room right here. Shout out Viral Ecom Ads, and shout out Connor Chapman, at Connor Chapman on Instagram, for actually giving me this. His girlfriend hand painted it. It's not a canvas, it's actually hand painted, which is really beautiful, and I appreciate that a lot. So coming down there is my bedroom. It's basically just you know, the maids are here right now. But yeah, you know, nothing special, kind of messy. We're not fully moved in yet. And here's the garage. There's the Batmobile, the little Riker. It's like a 3-wheel motorcycle, super fun. Shout out Viral Ecom Ads again. And of course the M4. And we got this third parking garage spot right here. So tons of space in the garage. So here's the other living room that we were looking at from way up there. Super comfortable couches. So coming into the backyard, this is one of the things that I loved the most about this house, was just how beautiful this pool was. So you know, super duper nice. And then over here we have a little hot tub, and down there we just have, you know, a grill, a garden, stuff like that. So let's hop into my computer and I'll run you through the financials and what it costs me to live here. Alright guys, I'm back in my office, and I have the slides pulled in front of me. Hopefully you can see them on my screen here. So let me talk about a little bit what I was doing before I bought this house and moved here. So this is basically the expense breakdown, and we'll talk about income next, and basically just break it all down. So these are my living expenses before I started house hacking. If you don't know what house hacking is, it's basically buying a property, living in it, and getting the rents from the other people to help pay for it. Basically exactly what I'm doing now. At the previous house, which by the way was much smaller and nowhere near as nice, the total expenses were $3,559 per month. Now this is basically $2,650 in rent, $800 a month in utilities. If you don't know, we're out in Arizona, which you know, the electric bill is pretty high when you run the AC all day like I do. Maintenance was only $10 a month for air filters. Obviously, one of the benefits of renting is you don't have to pay a lot for maintenance. You'll see that change with my current property. And internet was $100 a month. So total living expenses was about $35.60 a month. This was the income from the previous rental. Now, it wasn't necessarily income, it was more having a roommate that was just paying his share of things. So he was paying $1,000 of rent, and he was basically splitting utilities with me evenly. So I got $1,000 in rent and about $400 for utilities. So my net expenses after roommates were $21.59 per month. So that means by living in this house, the house before this, I was losing over $2,000 per month, which, as you know, it's not a lot of money for me. I mean, with my income, it's really nothing, but that's not the point. The point is, why would you do this when you can actually house hack and get paid? It just doesn't make sense financially. You'll see in a minute when I go over the financials for this current home that I'm living in, why this is so stupid. A lot of you are thinking like, oh, $2,000 a month, it's not that bad. I understand that, and it's especially not bad for me. I mean, that's probably, I don't know, 3% of my income, probably, maybe less. So really nothing. So let's get into what it actually costed to buy the house that I'm living in now. How much money did it cost me out of pocket up front? Because obviously when you're renting a home, most money that you have to put in up front is basically a security deposit. As to where you're buying a home, you actually have to put a down payment. So the purchase price of the home was approximately $600,000. I'm not going to say the exact amount because I don't want people figuring out where I live, because you know it's public information how much I bought it for. But it was not very far off from $600,000 at all. The percent down that I put was 14%, or $84,000. So this is basically the money that you put down on the mortgage. My closing costs were about $8,000. I got an interest rate of 3.25%. Actually, I think it was a little bit less. I think it was like 3.1. I'm just too lazy to whip out my closing disclosures. It's somewhere. It's a really good interest rate though, especially right now with the government just keep on decreasing rates like crazy. And the total mortgage, including property taxes, insurance, HOA, and PMI, is $28.50 per month. So a little bit more than rent at the other place, but again, it's a lot nicer of a house. To give you a cost comparison, the other house was probably worth about $450,000, give or take. So this is a lot more expensive, a lot nicer of a house, and right off the bat, it's only costing about $200 more. So let's get into the actual monthly expenses for living in this home. So the total expenses is $4,299 per month. The mortgage, obviously, $28.50. The utilities are a little bit more here, obviously, because it's a bigger house. It's about 5,000 square feet. So it's $1,000 a month, basically $800 in electric, and we have water and gas, which equals up to about $200 on top of that. Maintenance is another $350 per month. This is what I was talking about earlier, and that's for pool maintenance, landscaping, and air filters. And of course, if you lived here, you could do this stuff yourself. Honestly, it's just not worth my time. So this is kind of an expense that you don't really need to have. I just choose to have it, obviously, because I just don't want to do that shit. And the internet was $100 per month. And obviously, I'm not including the maids here because that's just, you know, it's too selective. Obviously, most people aren't going to have that, but you know, I'm just a bit lazy when it comes to cleaning the house, so we just get a little bit of help. So let's get into the income from the current house. So the total rents that I get is $3,000 per month. As I showed you, there's 3 bedrooms rented out. Their individual rents is $1,500 and $1,500 for, you know, they get a bedroom and they each get their own bathroom as well and their own shower. So it's a really nice space, tons of room, as you saw. The utilities, so we kind of split the utilities 3-way. So we kind of do, you know, on $1,000 a month, it would be $660 per month. That's just some basic math. And by the way, the utilities will go down as we come into winter here and it starts getting cooler outside. The AC won't be working as hard. So that's going to be going down quite a bit as well. But basically here, they're not helping with maintenance. I'm covering all the maintenance like a good landlord should. Not really. Some landlords do charge for it, but internet, $0 a month. I'm paying for that all myself. But the total income from it is $36.60 per month. Now you're thinking to yourself, like, wait a minute. He said that he gets paid to live in this home, but his total income is less than the total expenses. So here's the thing about real estate and why owning real estate is a lot better than renting. Because you could do this, if you just rented a home and got 2 roommates, you can basically do everything that I've showed you so far. And you might be losing money still. You might be able to even profit if you do that. But the thing is, when you own the real estate, you get a lot of other benefits. 3 of them being principal payment on your mortgage. So some of that mortgage is actually going into the principal on the amount that you owe, which is basically adding to your net worth. It's not cash in your pocket today, but that's money that if you ever refinance the property, if you ever sell the property, you will get back eventually. So it's basically adding on to your net worth. In this specific scenario, the principal payment is $800 per month thanks to that beautifully low interest rate. And another way is tax savings, right? Like I'm going to be able to depreciate approximately 3% of the value of this property per year for 30 years, which is about $18,000 a year. And with my tax rate, which is about 40% if you do state and federal, then that's a tax savings of $600 every single month. Already you got principal payment, which if you are renting, you get no principal payment. All the money you pay towards rent, you lose. It's not if you own the property. And then you have tax depreciations, which is saving me another $600 a month. So just on these two things alone, technically I'm making another $1,400 a month on top of the rents that I'm collecting. This is why owning real estate is so powerful, especially when you live in it. And obviously, these numbers that I'm showing you are not including appreciation. I believe that appreciation is just 100% speculation. Real estate usually appreciates like 1 to 3% a year depending on your location, but just because you can't exactly predict it, I'm not going to count it towards these calculations. But it very well could be that the property appreciates 1% a year, which is very, very conservative, especially in Phoenix, Arizona, where the market has been appreciating, 5 to 10% for the last few years. If it just appreciates 1% per year, that's another $6,000 a year that I'll be making on appreciation. But just for these calculations, I'm going to leave it out because it is speculation, and you should never base an investment based on appreciation. So I honestly just ignore it, but it is another upside. So just keep in mind that these numbers, in a 5-year time could be a hell of a lot better than what I'm showing you right now just because of appreciation. So here's the breakdown, the final breakdown of all the income and expenses combined. So my total amount into the deal was $92,000. That's what I wrote a check for when we closed. That's the down payment and the closing costs combined. The total expenses are $4,299 per month, approximately. It's going to fluctuate with the utility bill and stuff. But the total income is $3,660 per month. And the back-end income and tax savings is $1,400 per month. So if you do your math here, my total cost of living here is plus $760 per month. And this is how I'm getting paid to live in this house. I hope that this video shows you the importance of actually owning real estate rather than just renting. And there's a few notes that I want to keep in mind, a few call to actions that I can add in here just to give you a call to action of some sort. So first thing that I want to address is $92,000 is a lot of money to be, just dropping on a home to live in. And I understand that. But you also don't have to go and buy a $500,000 house. You can go buy a house for $300,000, maybe with 3 beds, and just rent out the other 2 beds for $1,000 a month and make it work a little bit better, right? And maybe then you only have to put down $30,000, right? So these numbers will vary depending on where you go, or maybe your utility bill isn't as high. It just all varies. Another thing that I want to say is, depending on your situation, there is a way to do this with only putting 3.5% down on the property that you're buying. So even at $600,000, 3.5% is only about $20,000. I think it's like $25,000, something like that. So it's not even that much money to buy a home and start doing this. Obviously, you're going to want some money set aside for like things that might break. Like one of the toilets already broke since I moved in here and the faucet's broken. So there are things that come up, but you really don't need that much money. Especially like if you live in a smaller town where houses range from like 100 to 200,000, like where I grew up back in Connecticut. You can actually house hack a triplex and literally just make probably $500 a month while you're living in one of the units, one of the apartments. So really look into the numbers in your market. But So I hope you got a ton of value out of that, and I'm able to bring you more value on real estate in the future. It's a really fun thing to do. It's probably one of my favorites right now, aside from, you know, drop shipping and operating my agency. But as for this video, this is Noah Brewer, and I'm out. Peace.